It is October 31st, 2020. We're here in the master bathroom. Behind the bat toilet is a 3-inch ABS cleanout at the property at 10385 Bonnie Lane in La Mesa, California, 91941. So we're going to inspect this sewer main here that's clogged multiple times. Okay, so we can see already coming into what appears to be a bunch of toilet paper and debris in the line already, and our camera is completely underwater right here. So we either have improper slope from the installation of the pipe that was put in. All pipes are required to have downhill slope of a minimum of 1/8, but it's really required in California. They prefer 1/4 inch per foot. So for every 4 feet you travel, it has to get a full inch deeper. Now there could just be that there's object or debris holding this up, causing a damming effect. So we'll see. You can see where right now we cannot get through the line. It is completely clogged up. So we're going to pull our camera back out here and wipe. Oh, there we go. So we're still in the liquid water. We wanted to see if there was some paper feces on stuck to the front of the lens, but it's obviously not. So you can see we've got some, we assume, toilet paper there. Obviously no wipes or any other paper product can go down the sewer line, whether you're on city or septic. Only toilet paper is the only product that dissolves in water. Everything else, including flushable wipes, the worst actually, nothing breaks apart and they will clog up the line, whether it's new pipes or old pipes. So we are stuck here at about 10 getting through. We just passed through there. Now we're into an open pipe. And it looks like we're back into possibly original cast iron right here. It's hard to tell exactly. So we have a full stoppage right now. We're just going to push our lens forward. The water in the line helps kind of clean it off for a second. And we can see right now, due to the roughness of the pipe, this is definitely original cast iron pipe. So since we have ABS pipe here, some modification or addition was done to the system here. So it might be misaligned where the plastic meets the cast iron. But we're probably going to have to do a cleaning besides a camera inspection here, because as of right now, as we back up here another few feet, we're going to come back up into this clog. So you can see there's a bunch of paper and debris right there.
Looks like it might be catching on the rough edges of the...
No, the rough edges won't cause stoppages. It's either the material or the slope of the pipe, or the wrong material.
Yeah, okay. Thanks.
Okay, so we're coming back through, and it is still clogged up, and so what we're going to have to go ahead and do is we're going to have to put some water down the system and snake the line to see if that clears out. Again, there should be no standing water in the pipe, so the camera, we're going to run through here a few more times that moves that debris out of the way. There we go, it's kind of draining by right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to pause the video for 1 second. We're going to go ahead and inundate the system with water to see if this will drain out and show anything left in the system being held. Okay, so we've just cleaned the sewer pipe, the 10 feet, with this Renzi chain knocker system. It's a 3/8 chain knocker system. And we ran that down, pulled out just a little bit of toilet paper on the ends, but no other wipes or other foreign material. We did run the toilet a few times in front of the shower stall right next to here. So we're now going to go ahead and see if we still have standing water and or any other debris that's not moving out of the system and draining out. So you can see some sludgy debris right there. It's still staying in the line, it's not going out. We'll run a bucket of water through there to see if that flushes out, if that's just what we call back flush, or again if the slope isn't right there. So here's our transition to cast iron. It does look like a nice clean transition there. Looks like a 45 possibly. So what we're going to do is we're going to pause the video for 1 second and put a centering guide on the camera to bring it off the bottom of the pipe. Okay, so we've ran the garden hose down there with a few gallons of water, so we're going to see if the rest of this paper debris is flushed out, and again, it's not holding any liquid. We do have a centering guide on the front of the camera now. So the line is clear there, so you can see it's all out. Now there's where the toilet dumps into the line. I can't tell if that's a sanitary tea or a combo. Let's see. We have a A little bit of standing water there that's still not going out of the system. So it definitely appears that we may have being completely level, not proper downhill. We're still holding water there. Here's our cast iron at the 6 feet. Let's go forward here. Okay, we do have a little turn on the line right here. It's actually a T-fitting. It opens up to the left and it probably picks up, the bathroom sinks. So that's probably where the bathroom sinks dump into the line. A little bit of hair, toilet debris there. Nah, that's okay. We'll push down this cast iron. We have the centering guide on there, so it bounces just a little bit on the video here. But we want to check the bottom of that pipe before we went all the way across. Okay, we'll get a clear video. We'll take off our centering guide, but we'll go ahead and pull back right now. So we're going to pause the video while we retrieve the camera back out. Okay, so we were looking at right there just a pan and tilt camera that we brought in to use that doesn't leak into this rigid equipment directly. So we ran that, and when we went down back into this part of the system here, this ABS pipe right here is only for the toilet only. And as we come up to this T-junction right here on the right that picks up the toilet, this is a sanitary T. So you can't use sanitary T's on their side. You have to use what's called a combo T. That is a long sweep 90 that directs the flow. So when the toilet is flushed, what happens is that water comes and debris comes in both directions because it's hitting the T and it's not following a more directional flow. And that's why you can't use sanitary T's on their side or on their back. So what we're going to do is we're just going to show this little basic phenomenon that occurs. So there's where the toilet dumps in. We're going to leave our camera right here. We're going to flush the toilet. Okay, so you can see here's the water coming in. You can see how it just came backwards at the camera quite a bit. Now, not a huge amount, but quite a bit did. Well, what it's going to do is it's going to throw paper that way as well as the feces. So that's why when we entered the system here, you saw nothing but tons of paper and debris backed up all the way these few inches, even up to this 90, which we've now cleaned out. But it was standing water right here at this glue hub at the beginning of the 90, and as it travels across a foot or so, foot and a half, to this T. And then you can see right here, the toilet just finished, so there's a little bit of water still, but the water never completely leaves the line, it appears. Now, we'll double check that on our way back, but we've got a little bit of standing water, so the pipe was put also slightly level. So you've got two things working against you. You've got basically a sanitary T instead of a combo, and you have a pipe not with proper downhill slope. There should be no standing water in any pipe in any part of the system, not even the vent pipes. Everything has to have downhill slope. So that standing water there is what's going to slow everything down. And when you have a dual flush toilet, which was what they're operating with, that gives even less water than normal, anywhere from 1 gallon to 1.28. So there's less water to help push all the heavy feces and toilet paper through the system. Some of it backs up on the back side of the T, and then the other stuff kind of sits in this little bit of lull to the pipe that's holding water and not draining out. As we come up again, we have a nice clean transition to the cast iron, and until we get to this turn right here, which is a 45-degree turn, this is at about 9 feet almost. So this shouldn't cause any stoppages right here in the cast iron. It looks clean with no buildup, scale, or deposits in the pipe really. Turns will slow things down, but it doesn't look like that's a real huge problem area, but I've never cleared the line here, so I don't know if they've had to go exactly 8.5 to 9 feet, but they're definitely build up the whole run. Now we've got some standing water right there, just a little bit in the line, but this is at about 18 to 19 feet out. This is due to a little hub, so we're coming up where two sections of cast iron come together. I can see the two different colors of pipe on the cast iron and a little seam line. And so these leaded hubs sometimes will get a little bit of deposit. You can see we actually wrote up there. So on our camera, we have a tilt meter built in. It tells us the degree and the pitch that the camera is laying in the pipe. It's not going to tell us exactly the lay of the pipe, but the camera. So right here, we're at, back up just a little bit. We're going forward at 0 to negative, and then we come right here, we're actually positive, about 8 or 9. It's just a little glitch in the pipe from the no-hubs that were put together or the leaded joints. But I don't believe they're having stoppages at that 19 to 20 foot mark. We're going to continue down this cast iron here to look at the rest of the system. So overall, for the age of the cast iron, it still looks good. Does not require any hydrojetting or descaling with a chain knocker system to this point. We're not finding any other paper, feces, or debris or objects in the line, no root intrusions. And we did run a fair amount of water through here, but still no other debris. And everything that we ran down got flushed out of the system completely here that we had to clean out. Everything is still looking good. Got really good pitch right now and fall in the pipe, so wherever we're at, we've got really good decline to the system here. Sloping heavily. We're coming up on 75 feet now. Got a little bit of standing water right there. Again, could just be some debris on the bottom of the pipe. Looks like we might be coming up on here possibly. Let's see if we run through this or not. Okay, we've got some definite buildup right there. It could be a turn on the system. We've got some debris on our lens. It hasn't come off. Yeah, there's a turn on the pipe right there. So that's what happens. Anytime there's a turn on the system, water outruns debris. So it'll hit a turn, it slows everything down, and it'll bind up just a little bit on the turn. So there's that turn. It's actually a T-junction. As we come up to this, you can see it opens up to the right, whether it was used as that or...
Want to flush the other toilet?
Yeah, we can hold off just yet. It actually looks like there's possibly some water running by in the bottom of the line right there. Now, it could be what's coming into the system, or maybe somebody is running something, or they have a runny toilet. We're only 70 some odd feet out. There's no way we're intersected into any part of the line or the lateral where it ties in from a neighbor yet. So let's see if we can push through this turn here.
No, septic.
This is septic. Okay, he just mentioned, if you heard, this is septic, so we definitely are on our own unique system. Okay. We're going to pause the video for a second. We're going to run some water to help clean this little bit of debris out, but we also need the water to reduce the friction and try to see if we can get through the line. You can see the little mounds of paper feces up there. They're very small though, pretty inconsequential, but there's some right there. So we're going to pause while we try to make this sweeping turn, otherwise we'll have to put a different camera in. Okay, so we've turned the video back on just because the water finally started rolling by. We've got the lavatory sink running the shower, and we've flushed the toilet. Let's see if this permits the camera to make this sweeping turn coming up in a few feet here. Okay, looks like we made that turn. We're going to keep the water running and recording while we push out, and then when we pull back, we'll obviously shut the water back off if we need to get a clear image. But we're going to let this keep going through the system to help push out. Not noticed anything in particular yet. Okay, we just made a big downturn on the system. We're going down at almost a 45-degree angle, slightly less. So we've run out way past 100 feet right now. Coming up to the end of our push rod cable here that we have. We're 130 feet out. So we're going to go ahead and pause the video while we shut the water off. Okay, so we pull back just a few feet here. The water has stopped trickling by. So we're now going to go ahead and pull back in reverse and show this, because again it was mentioned to us that they were having occasional stoppages out about 100 feet. But again, this is all old cast iron. So So right now we're on very good downhill slope of greater than 30 degrees, and once it flattens out, that might be close to the 100-foot mark and have a turn on the line. And with a lower volume, ultra low flow toilet over time, maybe that's leading to it, because we've not seen any roots in the line, but we did have water running, so we'll find out here if there is anything else in the line, or an object, construction debris, or something else. Let's see, we got a hub right there. I think that's a T-junction right there. It might be an old clean-out T, but anyway, we pull back. Okay, here's that 45-degree pitch, or the turn. We can see our camera's wobbling, so we're about to transition right here. Let's see if this is a turn or a T-junction. Okay, so on the top of the pipe, I see some cobwebs, but I don't see an opening, so I don't know that that's a Y fitting that was used. It looks like they just used a 45, but it could be an opening up there where those cobwebs are on the screen. But again, this is at 107 feet, so even if there was a clean out there, which I think that is an opening on the top of the pipe, it's not going to help to uncover that. It's not going to lead anything but away from the system. So coming up here on the 100-foot mark, looks like we're in a straight piece of pipe. Yep. So everything looks clean coming up to that downward turn, so maybe they're blocking up at the turn just in front of it. It's hard to say. We still got a little residual water running through there. They might have a runny toilet somewhere.
Nope.
It's very strange that we've got this much water trickling by the system. Either that, or somebody's got, they don't have AC running, and we're not supposed to put a condensate line into the drain if it's especially a high efficiency, because it's the acidity level. That's just too much water. We stopped running water a while ago, and it's still trickling by the camera. It's kind of odd there. But anyway, we're just coming back here. Still not noticing any roots or any other foreign objects in the line. You can see a little bit of paper and debris and gunk right there. But here's a turn on the system right there that looks like a 16th bend, not a 45. That's a very small turn there at 85 feet.
You have the kitchen sink on.
Oh, the kitchen sink was running. Okay. So that explains a little bit of water we saw. We just wanted to double check on that. Again, I mean, it's pretty good cast iron for its age. Here we have another little 16th bend. You can see there's that little bit of paper or feces right there. A little miniature pocket full of water. And again, sometimes on those hubs where a pipe comes up to a pipe or a pipe comes up to a hub, you'll get that little buildup at the turn. So it gets held up as the water flows through easier, but it's negligible. It's from the 4-inch pipe. It's just a small amount of debris. And here's that turn right here. Here's the combo turn at about that 76-foot mark. And there was no buildup in there when we came up to it, and it looks nice and smooth and clean here. So again, we're just not seeing anything in the cast iron that makes us say anything has to be cleaned up or relined or repaired or maintained even. It looks really good for cast iron. So the stoppages at 100 feet might just be enough stuff settling over a long amount of time, but other than that, nothing that comes to our attention. And so all we see as we keep coming back here is relatively clean cast iron. Come back the whole way again just to make sure we're not missing or seeing anything or passing anything. It still looks good. Okay, so we're going to be coming up to the T-junction here in a few feet to pick up the shower and the lavatory sink. There's our 10-foot mark. There's the T right there. So again, things might slow down when they have to make a turn, which is what's being made right here, a 45-degree turn. Couple feet of cast iron, then we make a small turn right there with the ABS. Okay, so we don't have any standing water at this 90 coming up to the clean out. Here's the T-junction. We do have a little bit of standing water there. It's not huge, but it's there. So there's standing water there that's just not getting out. It's a perfect transition to the cast iron. I just don't see that, it's on a turn, but I don't see much of a lip there. A lip can cause it to hold in some water, but it's just a little bit of standing water, but again, should be none in the line. And from what I can tell with our pan and tilt camera, looking across this 90 turn, I can look and see straight across into the next section of pipe. A combo fitting won't let you do that because the hard long sweep 90 hides the hub and the next section of pipe. So I'm 100% convinced that's a sanitary T, not a combo fitting. But all that can be done right now, other than trying to correct this little bit of off slope, going all the way back to the cast iron, putting on a new mission band here. If there's any buildup on the bottom of the cast iron, that needs to be dremeled out. We use carbide Dremel bits, 1/4-inch ones, and clean out the bottom so that there's no buildup on the cast iron transitioning from the ABS, creating a little damming effect. And then again, having just uphill slope coming backwards, downhill slope going away so that there's no standing water in the pipe. A combo T for a long sweep tie-in to help flush so nothing back flushes. Everything that back flushes here is going to sit and then keep mounding up and then collect more and more and more and then lead to it also building up from beyond the T, not just back this way but forward as well, just like when we first got here. So the only other thing that could be done in the meantime, if they wanted to experiment and spend the money, would be to put in a standard flushing toilet. Again, we recommend American Standard and or a non-dual flush Toto, and redo the flush valve that comes in the box with the new one with a modified universal so that you can increase the water volume. It's possible by increasing the water volume that will make it through all this and break everything apart and get it flushed out cleaner. So, other than that, that concludes the recording for this property.